Welcome to Pop Culture Roulette for all your pop culture needs. We're America's podcast.
Woohoo!
All right, so we are right in the middle of the Christmas season, and as the Media Pod Smash family has become so fond of the brackets,
It really has.
Oh, yeah.
we bring you two brackets today that I am sure are going to inspire a lot of debate, probably some table flipping in this room.
We'll put the Zen Garden in the middle. In case you get frustrated, you got that right there.
We got the Zen Garden to keep us calm.
We're still making repairs on the table from the Sandler bracket after that flip.
So, all right, quickly, the methodology, for those of you that don't remember, with the Sandler bracket, we went to IMDb, and if it was like 5.7, it became 57. Metacritic, who apparently just hates every movie, and
They're brutal.
yeah, and then Rotten Tomatoes, they just straight 76 became 70, 7, and then we added the three scores together, so they could possibly get a score of 300.
Okay.
So when we get to each movie, I'll tell you what the score was at least the first time we talk about the movie, and then we'll go on from there. I did have a couple movies that were not on Metacritic, so it was decided that we would just take the average between IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes and give them that score.
Mm-hmm.
That plus that divided by that equals
Right.
that.
When we
Exactly.
get to these movies, there was a tie in the Christmas bracket. And that was decided. I used the audience score instead of the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes to decide which one got the higher seed. And then on the non-Christmas bracket, the tie there was decided by members of the podcast voting.
All right.
Because they didn't have, one of the movies didn't have an audience score. We'll get to that when we get to that. So the two brackets. One, traditional Christmas movies. The other one, non-traditional Christmas movies, or as I've been referring to them as non-Christmas Christmas movies.
Okay.
So
The good ones.
Yeah, the ones, I don't know how much of a debate that bracket's going to be. I think the Christmas movie bracket might have more fights. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the way the seeding really shook out in surprising ways. Now, you need to remember that I did not seed these movies. These movies were seeded by numbers.
You can remind me that all you want, but I'm still lashing out.
So, one thing that I do want to talk about before we get into the bracket, it came up as I was thinking about it. Just a weird, random thing. Okay, in Christmas movies, the Santa Claus, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, not necessarily that one, but Santa Claus, Ernest Saves Christmas.
Wonder who picked that one.
Well, various movies that Santa Claus is real. Like, he's an actual physical being that once a year comes around and gives presents. It is always determined that the adults no longer believe in Santa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But yet every year, Santa still comes to the house and leaves presents
Yeah.
under the tree. Where the hell do these parents think those presents are coming from?
Yeah.
Right? They are like, well, Santa's not real. Okay? Who's putting them under the tree? Like, your neighbor is just like, I'm gonna sneak into that guy's house every year, give them presents. Like,
That would be awesome, though.
But like,
You know what's going to really fuck with this guy this year? What?
yeah, so I mean, it dawned on me. Like, I get it. Like, as an adult, you start. I mean, Christmas becomes a little less magic as you get older. I mean, it's still a great holiday. Mm-hmm. I know this podcast is more about Halloween than Christmas, but Christmas is still a fun holiday, I think as we get older, we understand it's more about family, spending time with friends, enjoying the reason for the holiday, rather than just gimme, 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 where you're as a kid. But I think it's funny in these movies that, like, parents are like, well, Santa's not, and then always the parents end up finding out that Santa's real because they meet him. And it's like, where did you think these presents were coming from for all these years? Like,
they don't ever address that. It is
no,
weird.
they never. Yeah, okay. Anyway, that just while I was doing it, that dawned on me, and like that came up, and I was just like, that is a curious thing.
Maybe it's just they're like, oh, the other like partner just thinks they did it, so it's like, oh, my wife takes care of that, or my husband takes care of that, and they just never talk it over.
Okay. But at some point, there's gonna be a present that you're like, I can't. What, you bought Timmy that? I didn't buy Timmy that. You bought Timmy that. No, I didn't. Where did that come? How did Timmy get that? Like, there's a present that Timmy gets that you're not happy about,
right?
And you know,
it is bizarre.
So it's just something to think about. Okay, so we will start with the. All right, there's 22 movies on the Christmas movie bracket.
Okay.
I am sure when we're done, the listeners will write in, and we'll have to do this again next year with all of the movies that I didn't put this year. I understand that there's a whole bunch of Christmas movies I didn't put on here. These were movies that I chose because they're movies that I watch every year, movies that you guys voted on, or movies that kept showing up on like all-time greatest Christmas list. So we'll go, cool. and I'm sure I forgot some.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll think of them as we're going.
Yeah.
What about this?
I also ignored the entire Hallmark channel, the entire Lifetime channel,
right,
and whatever other channel makes 31 Christmas movies a year.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Disney's had some made-for-TV movies throughout the years, and
I ignored a lot. I ignored a lot of those. And there are probably some on here that you guys are going to be like, what? Why? All right. But
like always,
now that all the legal mumbo jumbo was out of the way and you understand the methodology and how we started it, this is where we'll kick off with 17 versus 16.
All right.
So the 2018
the anticipation.
The 2018 version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Benedict Cumberbatch voiced, Scott Mosier directed How the Grinch, with a 174. That's your 17 versus Scrooged. That one was put on the list by Justin, and also would have been put on the list by me. That gets you a 177.
Okay.
So since Justin put that one on the list, we'll let him kick off the voting.
Oh, I really like that the Grinch Stole Christmas version, that new one.
Yeah.
But man, Scrooge is one of those classics. I'm going to vote for Scrooge on that one.
I mean, this is going to be pretty easy for me because I haven't seen The Grinch, so I'm going to say Scrooge, which is also just a great movie. So
I would say that of the three versions of Grinch, that's probably my favorite.
Really?
I mean, I love the original, and we'll get back around to that. But I watched Scrooge last night. I didn't watch the Grinch ones. Bill Murray
kills it.
Bill Murray kills it. I rediscovered last night that apparently the version of Christmas Carol is one of those stories that basically if you put it in a movie form, I'll probably watch it. It's weird. I don't know why, but it's just all right. So, but basically that means that Scrooge won 3-0. Okay, so
what a massacre.
Yeah, take that.
Not necessarily surprised by that one. Okay, now this is going to be a fun matchup, and this is where I think one of our first big fights is going to happen.
Oh, man. All right.
21. Jingle All the Way with 108.
Okay.
All right.
This one was put on by Justin. Versus 12. And I cannot believe this movie only came in at 12, but this is where the numbers put it. 192 Christmas Vacation.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Which was put on by Justin. Jeremy.
That's
it would have been put. It's in my top 5 like all-time Christmas movie list.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow. That's insane. That's really hard.
Right. I mean, it's also strange that because we're basically in the play-in games right now. I mean,
Yeah. I can't do it. I'm not doing it.
See, but you have
can't
to.
make me choose.
I can make you choose,
All right.
and you have to.
Oh,
And just because you put it on the list doesn't mean you have to keep it there. You are allowed to change your vote if you want to.
Mm-hmm. Christmas Vacation is always going to be a movie that I watch every year, and it still holds up great. But Jingle All the Way is fucking amazing. Jingle All the Way.
Christmas Vacation is a staple. I enjoy Jingle All the Way. I watched 20, 30 minutes of that yesterday as well. But it's Clark Griswold. It is, for me, it is the shitter is full.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm going Christmas Vacation.
How do you like that, Justin?
I mean,
Tough spot to be in.
I'm gonna have to go with Jingle All the Way on this. I've already watched Jingle All the Way twice this Christmas season.
Wow.
Oh my god.
That is one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies.
Whoa.
I watched it once at work.
It's fucking good.
We had our Thanksgiving/Christmas dinner,
Wow.
and they turned it on. So I watched that on my lunch. I've watched it once at home already, so I've watched it twice. I think this week.
I would just like to point out that at a 108 of possible 300, Jingle All the Way just took down one of the top 5 greatest Christmas movies of all time. Okay.
We're gonna get
What-
some hate
I mean,
mail.
you get plus it's Arnold. I have a hard time going against Arnold. Arnold and Sinbad.
I mean, and like, people bring that movie up often as a joke, but it's really it's good. Like, it moves along nicely. Like, Phil Hartman's funny.
Yeah.
Sinbad's actually funny. I
Yes.
like Sinbad.
Right.
Like,
I mean, I'm not saying I don't like that movie. I enjoy that movie.
for sure.
I'm just saying if I have to pick between the two.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
I'm picking.
but
It's right in the title. All the way. It's going all the way.
all the way. Yeah.
All right.
If that movie goes all the way, something's wrong.
It's the Hubie Halloween of the Christmas bracket. Ridiculous 6. Why is this still in there?
You know what? Because I can see the matchups coming up.
Uh-oh.
It
could
it
go
might,
all.
It might be the Hubie of this bracket.
Yes.
Okay.
Sleeper.
So now we have 13 versus 20. 13. Harold and Kumar Christmas.
Nice.
It has a 192. It got 13 instead of 12 because Christmas Vacation had an 86 on the audience score on Rotten Tomato, and Harold and Kumar only had a 59.
Okay.
So it had the higher audience score.
Yeah.
So it got the higher seating.
Rightfully so.
So Harold and Kumar at 13 versus I'll Be Home for Christmas at 117.
Is that Jonathan Taylor Thomas
Yes.
film? Okay.
This is a movie that gets played in my house from around Halloween, maybe closer to Thanksgiving to Christmas, about once a week.
All right.
Mostly against my will, but it gets played a lot.
All right.
It's 20, and I'll Be Home for Christmas is also a 20. That's a 20 seat.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Okay.
I've actually seen that one. I've never seen the Harold and Kumar Christmas. I've only seen the first Harold and Kumar, which is at Go to White Castle.
Yeah.
Didn't really like it.
Get out.
Sorry. I was like, I don't get why everyone finds this movie to be so great. I felt the same way with like Napoleon Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
So at least I've seen I'll Be Home for Christmas. So I just based on that, I got to vote for that one.
I think you should vote next,
Harold and Kumar.
since you're the one who put it on the list.
To cling on for life.
I'm gonna vote for I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Oh,
What a shock.
I watched.
he was told he had to, or he couldn't come home.
Yeah.
I tried to watch Harold and Kumar last night. I ended up falling asleep, not because it was bad, but because I didn't start it until after midnight.
Okay. All right.
So I've still got about half hour, 45 minutes of that movie to finish watching it. Even had I finished watching it, though, I probably would be voting for I'll Be Home for Christmas.
That's fine. That's fair. I mean, Harold and Kumar 3, or all of them for that matter, really aren't the greatest films in the world, but I do find the first one to be a really good, like, rewatchable film. I don't know. I guess I could have to disagree with you on that one, Justin.
I've seen both of them. I don't know why I watched the second one, because I didn't really enjoy the first one all that much either.
All right.
But, okay.
So apparently you have to get out.
I guess I'll leave my own home.
Okay, so now we're up to the 19 versus 14.
Uh-huh.
19, Ernest Saves Christmas with a 137 versus 14, Christmas Chronicles with a 198.
Who picked that? Or was that just
That was just on there.
Okay.
What is that?
That's that Netflix Kurt Russell movie where
Okay.
he's Santa.
Did you see that one?
I've watched it more than once.
I've heard it's actually decent.
It's actually
Yeah.
well, it has a 198.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
But I
I
think we
don't-
kind of just gave away what our
Yeah,
votes are
I
going
think
to be.
we know where ours are going.
I did break down and watch Ernest Saves Christmas again
After
though
we talked about it?
After we talked about it, it's not good, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, going into it, I knew like it's an Ernest movie. Like it is what it is.
Yeah, I thought about watching it and I messaged him. I was like, is it worth rewatching or is the memory of it, do I just preserve it and not watch it?
But-
Yeah.
Because it's one of those movies as a kid, I was like, oh, this is so good.
There's some things that you really should not revisit.
But I was like, I don't know if I should watch this again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would. I mean, Christmas Chronicles. I like it better than the first one is better than the second one. Like the return on investment with the second one is really not as good.
Okay.
But I mean, Kurt Russell. That man can grow a beard that no human can rival. And I mean, I know there's Hollywood makeup, but I honestly, given what I've seen him do in so many other movies, there's a good chance that beard was real. Like, I don't know of any human who can grow a beard as fast as Kurt Russell. I think he just goes, ugh, and the beard just pops up.
If only they gave awards for facial hair at the Oscars.
So I'm all right. I guess just because I'm gonna vote Christmas Chronicles, but
Okay.
Ernest is taking this.
Ernest is
Ernest.
going to be taking this
Yeah.
one.
Okay,
Yeah.
Ernest is taking. Wow.
If you got to go, what is that movie? It's probably not going to win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it the best Ernest movie of all of them?
No,
No. Which is the best?
Scared Stupid.
I agree with that.
Maybe goes to jail.
That's up there. But I think Scared Stupid is the top one.
Probably.
What was the basketball one?
Slams Dunk.
Or slam dunk Ernest.
Okay.
Ernest Slams Dunk or something like that.
Yeah.
Don't
I
have
don't
Kareem
know.
Abdul-Jabbar.
I
on
did.
it.
I went on
Those
a
are the
deep.
camps that go. We're gonna get a.
I
now we're
went-
gonna go on to an Ernest tangent.
I went on a deep dive on Ernest yesterday while I was watching Ernest Saves Christmas, and yeah, yeah. Anyway,
Okay, yeah.
Moving on. Keep this going.
We'll save that for the Ernest.
Future bracket.
All right, 11. No, there's only like 7 Ernest movies. It's a very short bracket.
Doesn't. Okay.
I mean, you can bring it out to like 14 or 15 if you start including commercials and TV shows.
we can
but-
have a micro bracket.
Yeah. It's a segment.
Doesn't have to be. Yeah, it doesn't have to be an episode.
Okay, so this is probably one of the most lopsided matchups. 11 versus 22. Santa Claus at 194
Okay.
versus 8 Crazy Nights at 89.
Wow.
Would you like to guess who said 8 Crazy Nights?
I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Is okay. We're really gonna call that a Christmas movie?
I watched it. Finally, I broke down and watched it. It is as much about Christmas as it is Hanukkah.
Okay.
So because I did debate on whether or not I should put it on there, but they do spend a lot of time talking about Christmas and Christmas gifts. They also spend a lot of time talking about Hanukkah. So it falls into the Christmas category because Hanukkah often just gets rolled up into Christmas anyway.
Yeah.
And I can't do a Hanukkah bracket because really I think it would just be 8 Crazy Nights. So.
Yeah. Fair. That's fair. Okay. I was just stalling, really, just to think longer. That's the only reason why I asked that question. But
I mean, my answer's pretty obvious and clear on this one. I'm going with 8 Crazy Nights. I fought for it in the Sandler bracket too. I'm fighting for it now.
Well, I hadn't watched it during the Sandler bracket. Now I have. I'm voting Santa Claus. Good God, there's a reason why it only has an 89.
I got to look back to see what it faced up against.
I might have a new worst Adam Sandler movie over Jack and Jill.
Wow.
Jesus.
It's bad.
I know it's been a while since I've
gonna-
seen it, but I can't
I'm
imagine
gonna
it being worse.
I'm gonna have to play with the Zen Garden for a little bit here.
Technical foul!
Oh, what was that one? Sandy Wexler.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one that I couldn't finish.
I couldn't finish that either.
It was close to that. There was
Wow.
Okay.
And then there's Santa Claus,
Which...
the classic Tim. I also left most sequels off the list because like there's 3 Santa Claus movies. There's only one Ernest movie, Christmas movie. So I just left it with the first one.
Yeah. That's fair.
That's probably for the best because after the first one, they usually go downhill anyways.
Yeah, especially the Santa Claus series.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the first one is a classic, like almost a much watch every year movie for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to go with that one, too.
Okay.
Even though I don't despise 8 Crazy Nights, I definitely just the nostalgia alone helps with the Santa Claus. So
I will say this. I don't despise 8 Crazy Nights the way I do Jack and Jill because Jack and Jill should have been better.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't see myself ever sitting down and watching 8 Crazy Nights again.
okay.
Like
Wow.
it was
Sorry, Hanukkah. I tried.
okay. This could be a fun one. This one I wasn't really sure how we'd go with it. Krampus at 15 with a 178 versus Jim Carrey, How the Grinch Stole Christmas 2000 with a 157.
Tough one.
Because I know the 3 of us went and saw Krampus together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I'll say Krampus, just because I guess it's on brand.
I'm gonna go with Jim Carrey, The Grinch. I've watched that one at least once already this year, so I'm gonna put that one on the list.
I think I'm also gonna go Grinch with that one.
Saw that coming.
No sequels, but multiple Grinch movies.
Yeah.
So now we have the number 1 seed. Oh no, there's a reason. He segued into it perfectly. The number 1 seed, Grinch 66, with a 276 out of 300.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Versus Scrooged, which was a 16.
Man, that's a tough one.
That is a tough one. That's really tough for me, because for me, for forever and maybe even still, like I think it's maybe been a year or 2 since I've done it, but I know growing up every year when we came home from the Christmas Eve service before I went to bed, we watched How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Like we had it on VHS, we had it on DVD. That was my family's Christmas tradition. We went to the Christmas Eve service, came home, got to open like one out-of-town present, have some eggnog and cookies. We watched How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and then we went to bed and woke up and did.
What's your take on eggnog?
It grew on me over the
right.
years.
I
hated it.
Eggnog's good. Eggnog's so good.
I love eggnog.
All right.
I wish I could still spike it, but that's another story.
They do make non-alcoholic Fireball eggnog.
Interesting.
Anywho.
I'm not sure I can have eggnog anymore, quite honestly. But
All right.
anyway,
Yes.
anyway,
I really don't have an attachment to the Grinch, so it's kind of easy for me. I'm gonna say Scrooged.
Oh, and we know where you're going.
do you?
I don't know. I don't nothing. I'm changing my vote from the first round. I'm going with the Grinch. That one is just such a classic.
Balls in your
He's
court.
like, I just watched Scrooged again and forgot how good it was.
I do. I mean, it is like I'm not going to tell you my list because it might taint further matches later on. But I've
So we
got
know what to vote against.
Yeah.
I've got 3 or 4 movies, maybe 5 movies that I try to watch every Christmas season.
Mm-hmm.
Scrooged is up there, like it's up there, but so is How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't want to vote against Scrooged because I love it and it's so good and it's so subversive at the same time, like being really faithful to the story.
Think about your childhood.
But my
Going
childhood really
Mom,
dictate.
Dad, sister.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Grinch.
I can't even argue against that. I mean, it was a beautiful
Okay.
memory.
All right, so here we go. Here is a fun
I'm just trying
matchup.
not to vote for the ones that lose.
Here is
I only
a.
back winners too most of the time.
We know TB12.
So wait, which one did you vote for there?
I voted for the Scrooge.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so this one is interesting. 8 versus 9 seed. Muppet Christmas Carol with 217
Mm-hmm.
versus the incredible polar opposite Bad Santa with a 218.
Ooh.
Wow.
Like you can't get 2 further away movies from each other.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, and really obviously really close in score with a 218 versus a 217.
Yes.
So Bad Santa versus Muppet Christmas Carol.
No. Oh, I mean,
I recently rewatched Muppet Christmas Carol. I turned that on like a couple days ago. I haven't watched Bad Santa in at least a year or 2, and I'm still going with Bad Santa
Okay.
over Muppets. As classic as the Muppets is, it's just Bad Santa.
why don't you go ahead, Nicholas?
I mean, I think it's pretty. I mean, if you've paid attention to this podcast for any length of period, you know where the Muppets stand on my list.
Yeah.
Bad Santa is a great movie. It is hilarious. Lauren Graham in the car on it is, but for me, Muppet Christmas Carol is one of those 4 or 5 movies that falls into the I must watch. I think I've watched it every year since I went and saw it in the theaters. I'm going Muppet Christmas Carol.
Okay. Bad Santa.
Okay. I kind of felt that's where that was going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, the Muppet Christmas Carol, it's an excellent movie. It's hard to really bash the Muppets.
Yeah. I'm not crazy about that one song. Really slow song. It's like really a big downer. It got cut out of like one of the versions, and then I don't know. Whatever. Fuck it. We'll cut this whole thing out.
Nah, we won't. All right.
All right.
I wouldn't be mad either way, whichever one moved on in that.
So now we have a 5 versus a 21. We have Charlie Brown Christmas with a 250.5.
Okay.
It, for some reason, did not have a Metacritic score. So it had, that's why
That's how it got that 0.5.
That's how it get, any score that has a 0.5 didn't have a Metacritic score.
Okay.
Got it.
Versus 21 Jingle All the Way.
Oh my God.
I feel like I know where you both are voting for this.
Yeah, it's as easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Charlie Brown?
Yeah, exactly. No.
No, it's Jingle All the Way.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. Like, I don't really like most of the Charlie Brown stuff.
I mean, neither. I mean,
I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion.
I don't know. I debated whether or not I should put it on there at all. But it's such a staple Christmas classic.
it is. It is. Yeah.
That I had to throw it on there. Okay, so now we have 20 I'll Be Home for Christmas with its 117 score
Uh-huh.
versus number 4 Nightmare Before Christmas with a 257.
I mean,
Simple.
again,
Simple.
Okay.
No debate on this one.
All right. What?
Nightmare.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay, we'll go 2-1 on that one.
You would go the other way?
He has to.
Yeah, otherwise you can't come home. You tried. You fought hard for it.
I have seen Nightmare Before Christmas once, like 20 years ago. And I don't remember. I need to watch it again because I don't remember.
See that? That's the door.
I feel like I used to know you guys, but
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have number 3, Rudolph the Red-Nosed
What?
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer
yes.
with a 262.5
All right.
versus 19 Ernest Saves Christmas with a 137.
Ernest.
Rudolph.
Oh.
As much as I like Ernest, Rudolph is one of those movies that gets watched, that gets played every year. Now as we're doing this, I'm thinking of more Christmas movies that I wonder if are going to appear on the list.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a few that we haven't gotten to yet, so...
I'm gonna change up. As much as I love Ernest, Jim Varney.
Listen, you know what? Ernest is in the next round.
Oh
right.
my God! Yes.
Okay.
Ernest is becoming Hubie all of a sudden.
Oh man, I really thought you were going to go the other way with that one.
I mean, Rudolph is what Rudolph is. I mean, there's a reason why it's a Christmas classic, a staple.
Yeah.
But there are so many things that we could sit here and tear that apart with, like, how much Santa's a dick in that.
He really is, yeah.
But anyway, all right, so now we have number 11, Santa Claus, versus I don't know how it wasn't the number 1 seed, Christmas Story, number 6, with a 245.
Christmas Story.
Christmas Story.
The other one, Santa Claus.
Oh,
Have you still not seen Christmas Story?
I've never seen Christmas Story. Still.
really?
Yep. I made it this far without watching it, and
Didn't we tell you had to watch it?
Probably.
It's like it's almost perfect.
It really is. That's how the fact it fell down to 6 is beyond me. But I didn't seed them. Remember that. In fact, coming into this next one, you both need to remember, I didn't seed them.
All right.
The numbers seeded them.
Hey, the numbers work.
I'm glad you reminded me again.
Okay, number 7, Elf, with 219, versus number 10, Home Alone, 205.
Ooh.
How dare you!
I didn't want this matchup because I didn't want one or both of these movies to go out this early.
Reseed it.
Do it over.
Change it up.
Oh no.
All right.
Toughest one of the night.
Toughest one of the night. I'm going to go first. All right, listen. Clearly, I have a thing for Home Alone. I'm wearing a Home Alone shirt. I have a shirt that says Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. But my dog's name is Jovi. Name another person on the planet who's named Jovi outside of Zooey Deschanel's character in that movie.
Right.
Right.
Can't do it.
Since Elf came out, I have watched that movie at least once a Christmas season, if not multiple times a Christmas season, every year. I mean, I still probably watch Home Alone once every Christmas year as well, but
Yeah.
I think I'm going Elf.
Okay.
Where are you leaning, buddy?
I'm gonna Home Alone, but Elf is, oh man.
I told you, this was the one. As I was putting together, there was one other one somewhere back that we already did. This one, I was like, this one's going to be it. This is where they're going to kill me. They're going to be like, how dare you put those two together? Now, granted, at some point, they were possibly on a collision course with each other anyway.
Yeah.
It just, in the second round, because they both had first round buys. So,
Right. So, yeah, I'll say Home Alone, because I have a feeling it's probably not going to be yours.
It's got to be Elf.
Okay.
I mean, Will Ferrell, that movie's great.
It is.
Because there's also a good chance when we get to the Will Ferrell bracket that Elf is going to really do some cleaning up in that in just the Will Ferrell bracket.
Yeah.
Especially when he's like, that narwhal in the beginning. Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad. I say that all the time.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're down to the final new movie to the list. We have 18, the 2000 year, the year 2000 Grinch, the Jim Carrey version, versus number 2, It's a Wonderful Life, with a score of 269. I feel like I know where we're going with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Not that one.
Not that
So
one.
it's 3-0 Grinch then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there's now that we're doing this, there's some I'm like, that's not on the list. That's not on the list.
Right. There. I put It's a Wonderful Life on the list because I felt like I had to include some of the classics.
Mm-hmm.
I would have done Miracle on 34th Street over that one.
I was told under no uncertain terms that I was wrong for not putting it on the list, but I was told that after I had already printed them out and I had locked it in.
Too late then.
It was too late. So I was, I was like, okay, all right, well, maybe next year. Well,
Yeah.
all right. So, all right, back up to this matchup actually kind of makes sense. 1966 Grinch, the number 1 seed versus the number 8 seed Bad Santa.
Okay.
All right, you got two men pretending to be Santa, stealing from things with bad attitudes,
It's true. Yeah.
and both coming to learn the meaning of Christmas. One's a little less child friendly.
Yeah.
One has the classic line of "Fuck me, Santa." The other one has the Christmas song that everybody sings.
Right.
Number 1 seed Grinch. That's where I'm going.
Okay, I'm gonna say Bad Santa.
I'm also going with the number 1 seed Grinch.
I figured.
Okay.
I don't know what. That's just such a classic.
All right. Now we have Jingle All the Way versus Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, I don't like that.
Well, I'll go first then because this one's easy for me.
Okay.
I'm going Arnold. I'm going Jingle All the Way.
Okay.
I'm gonna Hubie Halloween this thing right up until the next round.
Fair.
I'll say Nightmare Before Christmas, but I won't be mad if Jingle All the Way.
It's gonna be Jingle All the Way.
All right, I'm not mad.
Man, it's in it all the way.
All right.
I'm gonna get that one there.
I believe this is where
Time.
I believe this is where one Cinderella story comes to an end.
Oh,
Ernest Saves Christmas versus Christmas Story.
Ernest. Never seen Christmas Story. It's Ernest.
I mean,
I'd be insane to say otherwise.
yeah, it's 2-1 Christmas Story.
I have to say Christmas Story.
I mean, if I had been allowed to seed it, well, I guess I could have seeded it however I wanted. I made the bracket.
True.
But had I not set myself rules,
Yeah.
Christmas Story would have been number 1. Elf would have been number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Glad I put these rules in place when I made the first bracket.
Which I guess probably gives away a little bit on how I'm voting on the next one. We have Elf versus Jim Carrey Grinch.
Okay.
I think this one's a clean sweep.
I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think it's a 3-0 run for the Elf.
okay. All right. So, does Cinderella keep her dress on, or does she finally go home? 1966 Grinch versus Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way.
Okay, so it is. This is where Jingle All the Way has definitely become the Hubie Halloween.
Yeah, it's got like one of my favorite lines to it. Put the cookie down now.
I used that in one of my quote games last night.
He punches out a reindeer.
Yeah, I did not see Jingle All the Way making it to the final round. But now we have this is the matchup that I was afraid of, because this matchup is the one that I debate in my head every year. Which one is number 1? Which one is number 2?
Okay.
Because for me, these are the two, followed very closely by Christmas Vacation. Like those are the 3 movies I have to watch every year. I also put like Muppet Christmas Carol and a couple other into the top 5. Home Alone's up there. But these are the 2 that I debate with the most.
Okay.
Christmas Story versus Elf.
This is coming down to you two, because you know where I'm going. I've never seen Christmas Story. Going with Elf.
Christmas Story. Just to make it more difficult for you again.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so once again, Christmas Story. Not only does Christmas Story fall in like number 1 or number 2 of my all-time favorite Christmas movies, Christmas Story itself might be in like close to my top 10 of movies all time. It's such a good movie, and like you said, it's damn near perfect. I'm obviously I wasn't alive in the 50s,
Right.
but still that nostalgia, that like trying to find a way to talk your parents into getting you that Christmas gift.
Yeah.
The bullies at school, like dealing with that, like, you know, all of that, you know, coming together, having those memories with your siblings over, you know, family Christmas traditions.
Yeah, they nailed so many things.
But Elf is such a damn good movie. It
Yeah.
really is. And I have a dog named Jovi.
Back to the Jovi defense.
But gun to head, I think I'm picking Christmas Story.
Woo! All right.
All right.
Is that enough to convince you to finally watch it or no?
No. I made it this long without watching it.
I mean, I think you really should.
You should watch it. You really should. I mean, now granted, we've hyped it up so much that you're probably going to be like, why do you people like this?
That's
Probably.
boring as shit.
But I mean, come on. On Christmas Day.
I know it plays
There's-
24 hours. I still don't watch it.
Okay,
At this point, it's like the principle of I'm not watching this.
we have the new Hubie Halloween of the bracket.
Yes.
Jingle All the Way versus Christmas Story for the all-time greatest Christmas movie of at least this Christmas bracket.
Yes.
I know where I'm voting for this one.
Okay.
For me, it's hands down. Like, this is where Cinderella goes home. It's Christmas Story. But I have a feeling
Yeah.
there might be some strange voting going on. I think I know where you're voting. Actually, I know exactly where you're voting. So it's currently...
Jingle All the Way is probably one of my top 3 Christmas movies right up there. Elf is 1, and then Jingle All the Way is either 2 or 3.
All right, I would like to remind you that A Christmas Story has a 245 out of 300.
Yeah.
Jingle All the Way is 108 out of 300.
Jingle All the Way has classic Arnold
Yes.
and Sinbad.
It does.
And
It does.
you used quotes from Jingle All the Way in your
Christmas
game.
Story has "You'll shoot your eye out, kid."
Did you use that quote?
I did use that.
Did you use both of those movies?
Wait, no, I didn't use Shoot Your Eye Out. But I did use Christmas Story in some aspect.
It's got the leg lamp.
It's turbo time.
Come on. Every time you see the word fragile,
Yeah.
don't you say it's fragile?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I say that too, but I've never seen that movie.
That's just so it goes to show you how much of an impact that movie has. You haven't
Or
even
because I can't read.
You
There
did-
is that.
You did go to school in East Troy, so that tracks. But
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, Jingle All the Way has one thing holding it back, and that's the reason why I can't do it. And it's Jake Lloyd. So it's going to be Christmas Story.
Christmas Story for the win. Oh,
I mean, he's pretty bad. That if it weren't for that kid, it might be a better. It'd be a much better movie.
quick!
He sucks.
We might have to look it up real fast. Which one came out first? Christmas, Jingle All the Way, or Phantom Menace?
I think
Jingle
it was
All the
Jingle
Way.
All the
Okay.
Yeah.
How did George Lucas look at Christmas, Jingle All the Way,
Yeah.
and go, "That's the kid"?
I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking. He was awful in that movie.
Okay.
And I know he's a child, but I will go after a child in the holidays. I don't care.
So for our Christmas movie bracket, our traditional Christmas movie bracket, I'm actually kind of surprised. I didn't think it would happen because of the way the last few brackets have gone, and you guys tend to vote against me. I thought for sure that, and when Christmas Story fell down to 6 and then was
Yeah.
going up against Santa Claus, and I didn't think Ernest would make it to where it made it.
Yeah. We do like to vote against you, but
We couldn't jingle all the way. Just second.
I hope I don't regret that decision. It would have been funny to have it go, but I can't.
Yeah, okay. So, our next bracket is probably going to be a little bit more contentious because we are now living in the world where people try to say that Die Hard, and this is where this is coming from,
Yeah.
is Die Hard a Christmas movie or is it not? My contention that it is not a Christmas movie because if you took that movie and set it for like a July 4th party, it changes nothing. But the movie is set at Christmas, at a Christmas party. And there is the all-time iconic line of, "Ho, ho, ho, now I have a machine gun."
Yeah.
But so my thing is like, just because it's set at Christmas doesn't necessarily make it a Christmas movie.
Right.
So these movies are movies that are set at Christmas, or Christmas is a large portion of the movie, but I don't necessarily consider them to be Christmas movies. Now, you guys might debate me on a few of them, but we'll figure it out as we go along.
Okay.
Okay. Check again.
So, all right.
How many are in this bracket?
This one is a 20 movie bracket.
Okay.
So it's a little shorter. It was a little harder to find because there were a couple movies that I had originally put on this bracket that I ended up having to kick over to the actual Christmas movie bracket. Being Krampus and Nightmare Before Christmas, were determined that they were actually Christmas movies, not movies that had Christmas in them.
Right.
So,
Right.
All right. So we'll start off with our 17 versus 16. 17, Just Friends with a 151 versus Long Kiss Goodnight, a 182.
Ah. I've actually seen both of those.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
I've never heard of one of those.
Which one have you not heard of?
The second one.
Long Kiss Goodnight?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so damn good.
I don't know what that is.
Gina Davis is a spy who has amnesia, so she doesn't remember who she is. And then she does something that she ends up on TV. So the people who were out to get her see her, and they come back for her, and Sam Jackson is a private detective, and she has a head injury or something happens, so all of a sudden her memories start coming back. And the whole thing is set at Christmas, but it has nothing to do with Christmas.
Sounds like a pretty good movie.
It's
It
really
is.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm gonna vote for Just Friends. I haven't seen it. It's hard for me to vote for something I haven't
I
seen.
mean, Just Friends is a fun movie. Ryan Reynolds does what Ryan Reynolds does. I mean, you can't go wrong there. Anna Faris is hilarious.
Yeah. But
I'm not going to try to sway the vote either way. I mean,
I'm gonna go with Long Kiss Goodnight.
okay, that's where I was going too. So I'm
Okay.
As you were trying to sway the vote secretly, it's this.
okay.
Just Friends is fun though. I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
All right, we have 113. Not 113. Wow.
That's a big ass bracket.
We have 13. Iron Man 3 with a 212
Ooh.
versus number 20 Reindeer Games 121.
I don't
Ooh.
know if I've actually seen Reindeer Games. So I'll say Iron Man 3, and yeah.
I feel like I know. I mean, I feel like this is a pretty clean sweep, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Reindeer Games. I don't remember much of Reindeer Games.
I don't either. I know I went and saw it in the theaters with some friends.
I remember I watched it.
I remember walking out going, if it wasn't for that one scene with Charlize Theron, this movie would have been pretty bad. Okay, this is the one that I'm a little scared about.
It's all right.
Why
don't be
him?
scared.
Why him on number 19? Why him? With 140 versus the ref at 211.5.
Haven't seen them.
What are these movies?
Okay, this is where I was. Okay, so Why Him is the Bryan Cranston James Franco movie,
Okay.
where James Franco's kind of
You
this
don't
crazy.
you don't need to explain that one. Next
okay.
one.
The ref is
Does he need to
Dennis
explain that
Leary.
for you? Okay.
The ref is Dennis Leary. He's breaking into somebody's house at Christmas time. He ties the married couple up, who are just they are fighting, they hate each other. So he ends up becoming more of a referee, marriage counselor. It's funny, it's dark, has nothing to do with Christmas, but it's set at Christmas.
Which one do you think we should vote for?
I know which one I want to kind of vote for out of those two.
This is where I was a little worried about this bracket, is that we'd have a couple of these. I'm hoping this is the only one where this happens, but okay. So one has James Franco and Bryan Cranston. The other one has Dennis Leary and people. I think I want to say Kevin Spacey and Annette Bening, but I could be wrong.
Ooh. Okay.
But I know Dennis Leary is the main. He's the one on the poster.
Okay. Well, At one point, I wanted to see Why Him, so I guess I'll just vote for that one.
I think I remember the poster for the ref, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Why Him.
Okay.
I mean, you got Cranston and Franco.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
gotta be good.
I mean, just so it doesn't get a clean sweep, I'm voting for the ref.
If you were voting before we did, where would you go?
Probably still the ref.
I don't know.
Okay.
But it's probably also been 20 years since I've seen that movie. So, all right. Number 15, Grumpy Old Men with a 186 versus number 18, Rocky 4 with a 149.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
wow. I mean, as much as I love Sylvester Stallone stuff, I really like Grumpy Old Men. Especially the first one. I didn't really like the other ones. They got a little sad.
Right, but the first one was also set at.
I'm going with the first. I'm going with
Okay.
Grumpy Old Men. I'm going with the first one. Maybe it was the first Rocky, not 4.
Well, but the first Rocky wasn't set at Christmas. The fourth one was.
Grumpy Old Men.
Rocky.
I see. I'm torn because Rocky 4 has Ivan Drago and the "I must break you," but Grumpy Old Men. I mean, Walter Matthau, Jack Lemmon, Burgess Meredith. Like, it's so funny. If you had asked me yesterday, it was probably Rocky 4, but today, I think I'm going Grumpy Old Men. Like, I
Have you
think,
seen those movies?
A long time ago. I couldn't tell you anything about him. I should rewatch him.
They're good.
all right. Okay, now we're up to our number 1 seed, L.A. Confidential, with a 271,
Oh, boy.
the second highest score on the list, versus Long Kiss Goodnight.
I haven't seen L.A. Confidential.
I haven't seen that either.
Okay. Well, then what are you going to vote for?
What's the plot?
LA Confidential is set in 1950s LA, 1940s. Guy Pearce, Kevin Spacey, what's that Australian guy who's always hitting people with a phone?
Paul Hogan?
No,
Russell Crowe?
Russell Crowe.
Not always hitting people with the phone. You do it once and you get a bad rap.
Couple of them are hard-boiled detectives. It's kind of like a Block Dahlia style murder mystery, like centered around like 1950s Hollywood, but it's also set at Christmas. It was up for Best Picture of the Year that year, but I think it lost to Titanic. It probably should have won because it is fucking amazing.
All right. Long Kiss Goodnight.
Same.
I'm also voting Long Kiss Goodnight because I've watched Long Kiss Goodnight way more than I've watched LA Confidential.
Based on the way you describe both of them, I would prefer to watch Long Kiss Goodnight. So I'm going to actually check that one out over the other one. That's how I'm going to vote for things I don't know.
I'm hoping this one will be a little bit different then. Also, because it's 8-9, it's one of the closest matchups. You've got Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone, depending on which country you're from.
All right.
With 222, that's a 9 seed versus the 8 seed. Lethal Weapon with a 224.
Whew.
Yeah.
Where are you going,
I
guys?
don't think this one's that difficult for me. I'm going to go with Lethal Weapon.
I'm going to go with Harry Potter.
Okay. So you're gonna make me decide.
I enjoyed the Harry Potter movies. I haven't seen all of them yet, but I enjoyed them.
I do know that Christmas weighs heavily in the Harry Potter movies. They're always giving gifts, and they're just. I know that there are some channels that run the Harry Potter movie during Christmas time, but I never really think of them as Christmas.
Neither do I, but I
just
like
did
that
a
one
whole.
better.
I just did a whole episode of 80s Flick Flashback where it was on Lethal Weapon.
You just put this movie on here to do a plug.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
it
we like
was,
shameless plugs on this podcast.
Well, if don't talk about Media Pod Smash then. Oh, Christmas episode coming up soon. But I mean, I see if I have to pick which one is more Christmas. I mean, the entire thing, like there's that Christmas tree scene with Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Lethal Weapon. You know, I do enjoy the Harry Potter series, but I don't necessarily associate them with Christmas as I would Lethal Weapon, even though I don't really classify that as a Christmas movie either.
Right. Where can I stream Lethal Weapon, by the way? Do you know anyone?
I do not know.
Okay.
I have a illegal Chinese bootleg of all 4 of them.
All right.
I think I have them on DVD. I think I have a box set with them. I'll have to look.
Wow.
I also have a box set that was bought in China, so
I'm surprised I don't own that movie, but I would like to watch it again before revisiting your.
okay. So number 5, Trading Places, 232 versus Batman Returns, the 12 seed at 218.
Tough one.
Justin put this one on the list.
Now a tough one. Batman. One of the first movies I ever seen at the theater was Batman Returns.
Batman.
Batman.
Okay. I would also go Batman because it's Batman.
Batman.
But Trading Places is really funny.
It is funny. Yeah, I agree with
I
that.
mean, politically correct does not necessarily hold up anymore. But, okay. So now we have a Robert Downey Jr. off. Number 13, Iron Man 3 with the 212 versus Kiss Kiss Bang Bang at 233. It's also a Shane Black off.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
What's actually, Shane Black is all over this list because he loves making movies that are set at Christmas time but aren't Christmas movies. This one I was a little afraid of because I didn't know if either of you had seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
I have seen that one. Yeah.
Nope.
That's kind of what I thought. Actually, I thought it would be the other way around, but
They're both really good.
yeah.
So, but I'm gonna have to lean more towards Iron Man, I think.
I
mean, if you know how I vote based
Yeah.
on whether I've seen things or not.
all right, Iron Man 3 moves on.
You guys think that kid's gonna take up the mantle at some point, or is that just like a one-off thing?
I think that's just a one-off thing. I mean,
Wasn't he at the?
he was at the
funeral?
funeral?
Yeah.
But
okay.
yeah, so maybe, I don't know. You have no idea. I mean, they never did anything with that in the comics. So, but I mean, they're kind of off doing their own thing.
Okay.
All right, this one might be a little bit of a debate, but not necessarily on what's going to be picked. I'm pretty sure I know it's going to where the voting is.
Okay.
But Edward Scissorhands, number 3, 243 versus number 19, Why Him.
Yeah. All right.
So I know I think I know where the voting is going on this one, but I'm just wondering if Edward Scissorhands isn't going to cause some debate here.
Nah. I'll let it stay on there.
Which one? I'd go with Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, but
It's enough of a. They touch on it enough.
But I know when I think of Edward Scissorhands, I don't necessarily think of Christmas. I know Christmas is involved in it, but I think a lot of the summer scenes where he's doing like the
Landscaping?
shrubberies, the landscaping, and the
Yeah.
haircuts,
Yeah.
and so for me, I don't know if enough of that movie is set at Christmas to call it a Christmas movie.
Right. Yeah. That's for sure. That's
Okay.
fair.
All right. Number 11, Chronicles of Narnia,
Okay.
220 versus Shazam at 231.
All right.
I've never seen Chronicles of Narnia.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's shocking. I figured with your age that would have been right up at the.
You would think so, yeah. I just never did it.
Huh. Have you seen? And you've seen Shazam though?
Oh
right?
yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Not crazy about it, but I guess I'm gonna have to vote for it just because I've
Yeah,
seen
you
it.
don't have to. You can vote. You can vote for whatever you want. I mean,
Wait, Shazam is
the Zach Levi movie.
okay.
Not Kazam.
I was thinking Kazam actually. Shazam's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll vote for Shazam.
Okay.
I was actually thinking that one was Shazam.
That's Kazam.
No,
Okay,
this is the
okay.
Zach Levi. It's the one DC movie where they're like, let's see what it's like to make a Marvel movie.
yeah, no, that was good. I'll vote for that one.
Okay.
I too am going to vote for Shazam because
Okay.
I've never seen the other one.
Really?
Well,
I didn't think Chronicles of Narnia would be the one that. Although at this point, I do have to bring up that Mean Girls got a higher seating than Chronicles of Narnia
Wow.
because there was no audience score
Okay.
for Chronicles of Narnia, and we had some members that voted for Mean Girls.
Huh?
because Rotten Tomatoes pulls audience scores off of certain movies because of review bombing.
Okay.
Chronicles of Narnia is one of those, I believe.
Okay.
Are we?
I'm just checking.
Oh,
Just
okay.
checking, just to make sure.
I believe that Captain Marvel is another one, but there's a few other movies that they've removed the audience score because too many people are just getting on there and voting it negatively because of their motivations. So that's why the tiebreaker was that way.
Okay.
But apparently it doesn't matter. Shazam is moving on, and it's moving on 3-0.
All right.
Okay.
A lot more 3-0s on this bracket than. Okay.
A lot of them we haven't seen on this bracket.
Yeah.
Now this is going to be a fun debate then, because this one I know you've both seen both of them, because you both voted for one and you've only one of you voted for the other one.
Okay.
But the other one of you talked about it already. So, number 7, Gremlins with 228 versus number 10, Mean Girls 220.
Oh man, tough one.
I know where I'm voting. It's really easy for me.
I know where I'm going.
Now, then I'm just gonna say, since I both know what you're gonna say, I'll just to have a vote. Mean Girls, but I mean, Gremlins is awesome.
Gremlins I debated more heavily on than I think any other movie on whether or not it was Christmas or not, because I felt like, unlike Lethal Weapon or Die Hard, where you can take both those movies and put them in July and you're going to get the same movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Gremlins, if you take it out of Christmas, it kind of hurts it a little bit, because now you could make Gizmo a birthday gift.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then the whole storyline that I can't remember her name right now, but like she has the whole story about hating Christmas because her father got disappeared and they found him in the chimney.
Yeah.
And then the whole just the whole town being set up the way it is.
Right.
But I still feel like it's really hard to call that a Christmas movie. But so basically it's 2-1 Gremlins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though both of you voted for Gremlins. Got it. All right.
Gremlins is an excellent
I probably even had. Did I have it above Mean Girls?
I don't remember.
I made sure when I sent them my list that I was like, these are not in order of which I like them.
Yeah.
They popped in my head.
And does Mean Girls fall on the list if it isn't for the one talent show scene where they're all dressed in the Santa outfits?
There's got to be other references.
Okay, so here I feel like we're not going to have a lot of Hubie on this one.
Oh.
Grumpy Old Men 15 versus Die Hard. Number 2. 246 versus 186.
Okay. Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Grumpy Old Men.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Not really, just I want to be different.
That's how I feel about the
All right,
Mean Girls.
I'm going to mark it 3-0 regardless.
All right, that's fair.
All right.
Yeah, that's the way I would have actually voted.
Okay. Long Kiss Goodnight versus Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon.
Long Kiss Goodnight.
Wow.
But Lethal Weapon moves on, and I'm not necessarily mad about it. Oh, this is the matchup. And this is actually like a long-term debate. Batman versus Iron Man.
Oh, man.
So Batman Returns versus Iron Man 3.
Marvel vs. DC.
Marvel versus DC. Batman versus Iron Man. They're both rich guys. They both have cool suits.
Yeah.
Neither one of them actually have superpowers.
Yeah. Well, I'll vote right away because I don't have that like childhood attachment to Batman because it was a little bit like before my time. So I'll just say Iron Man.
I feel like I'm going to be in the minority here and go with Batman. I love that movie. Batman's my favorite.
This one is a tough one for me. I do love the Michael Keaton Batman movies. I love the first one a little bit more than the second one. But from a quality movie standpoint, I'm giving it to Iron Man
And from
3.
from your hatred of DC and your love of Marvel, that doesn't sway your voting any.
That might play into a little bit.
I don't hate DC.
That Batman's so good.
I mean, I do. Had it been a different Batman movie, it might have been able to overtake. But that's the only one.
I feel like there's
it's the only Batman movie
bias
set at
in
Christmas.
this. It is.
That's how the
All
Christmas
right.
cookie crumbles.
Danny DeVito, Michelle Pfeiffer.
All right. Well, it's too late for you. It happened already. Iron Man is moving on. All right. Edward Scissorhands versus Shazam.
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 You know what? Oddly enough, 3-0 Shazam.
More Christmassy than Edward Scissorhands.
And not is it voted for a DC movie. So
yeah,
there
if
you
it
go.
faced the Marvel movie, you'd vote otherwise.
we'll find out here in a second, won't we? Gremlins versus Die Hard.
Gremlins.
Ooh. I'm so on the fence with this one.
Break it over.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah, I don't know if to vote.
I don't know how to vote. I think I know who I'm voting on this one just because. But I'm not mad either way it goes.
I probably could have extended my vote a little longer, but I really want pizza, so.
I'm not to speed it up for pizza, but I'm going Gremlins.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
I was going Die Hard, but so
Die Hard's good, but Gremlins.
Gremlins moves on. Wow. All right.
I really like the Gremlins movie.
Okay, so we've got Lethal Weapon, the Mel Gibson classic, versus Iron Man 3, the Robert Downey Jr. at his Robert Downey Jr. best.
Yeah.
Shane Black versus Shane Black.
Yeah, he really does show up a lot here.
I'm going with Lethal Weapon. Iron Man 3 is the one with Mandarin.
Yes. Fake Mandarin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a waste of Ben Kingsley. Yeah, I'm sticking with Lethal Weapon. on that
Okay.
one.
And you voted Lethal Weapon?
I didn't vote
vote.
yet,
Oh.
but I guess I know how you want me to vote.
No, I don't care. I thought you had already voted.
No, it's a tough one for me. I'll go with Iron Man 3 just to be different.
Oh, man, just to put it
Yeah,
on me.
yeah.
Oh. Well, I think I'm gonna go Lethal Weapon.
Okay,
Um,
that's fair.
because it's such a classic movie,
Yeah,
and like Iron Man 3, while it's good,
yeah,
isn't necessarily as good as Iron Man. So
yeah.
you know, I mean, but I would not have been mad either way that one went. All right, so Shazam versus Gremlins. Not the matchup I saw coming there, mainly because I didn't see Die Hard losing.
I'm gonna go with Gremlins. Much as I would want to vote for Shazam, but Gremlins.
Okay.
Gizmo's just so adorable too.
You're right, he is.
Gremlins.
Is the Gremlins the first one when he's got that scene where he's Rambo? Is that the second one? Do you remember that? Where
think-
Gizmo's like Rambo and he's got the little pencil?
I
Yeah.
think it's the first
Okay.
one,
Yeah.
but I could be wrong. It is a 3-0 Gremlins on that one.
And the second Gremlins is the one with the Nicki Minaj Gremlin.
Yeah,
Second
but
one.
I don't think. Okay, so in the final matchup, a matchup I didn't see coming, but I guess I should have had if I'd actually thought about who my audience was. Lethal Weapon, the 8 seed, versus Gremlins, the 7 seed, so pretty
Huh?
close.
Okay.
What was the
Gremlins-
number on there?
Gremlins was a 228, Lethal Weapon was a 224.
Wow.
So pretty close to each other. You both voted for Gremlins, and nobody voted for Lethal Weapon. It just made its way on the list accidentally somehow.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Gremlins.
Gremlins. Because even when I think of Christmas movies, I think of Gremlins. I don't think of Lethal Weapon.
Okay,
That one's not going to pop into my head for a Christmas movie.
Gremlins at 3-0 wins the non-Christmas movie bracket,
Nice.
making it the most Christmas of the non-Christmas movies.
We
Gremlin.
declare.
How's that not a Christmas movie?
Well, see, that was the one that one and what was the other one I debated on? I guess Edward Scissorhands, but I mean Gremlins was the one I debated the most on whether or not it should be on there. So
Yeah, it's close.
I do wonder where it would have fared had it made it onto the Christmas movie list.
I don't think it would have made it quite that
It
far.
wouldn't have won, I don't think.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, on our book, for your Christmas movies, Christmas Story is our favorite Christmas movie.
I wouldn't say our favorite.
Well, that's the one that won. So,
It's the winner of the bracket.
it's the winner of the bracket. You have to stand by it.
Yeah, I will.
So, our final four, basically. All right, well, you know what? Let's do it. Our final four would have been Jingle All the Way versus Christmas Story, and Christmas Story won. Lethal Weapon versus Gremlins, Gremlins won. So the championship match,
Here we go.
Christmas Story versus Gremlins.
Yeah. Why don't you vote first, Justin?
I'm going to go with Gremlins, the one I've actually seen, the one I actually like. I'd go with Gremlins.
I love Gremlins too, but I'm going Christmas Story.
Christmas Story. It's gotta be.
It's got to be Gremlins.
So Christmas Story wins again, 2-1 in the ultimate face-off of Christmas movie versus non-Christmas movie. So, I guess if you would like, we can post these brackets on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
I can take a picture of them and put them on there in a couple days and
Right on.
let it debate. Those of you who want to weigh in, tell me what I missed on both of them, the list.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
let
what
me know
movies we forgot.
what movies we forgot, what we're not thinking of. Maybe if there's enough of them, next year we'll do Christmas movie bracket The Return.
Hell yeah. Nice.
And try to do it with. We'll try to do 2 whole more brackets with movies that we didn't put on this list, which might be difficult. I don't know.
Yeah.
We might start having to scrape the bottom of the barrel at that point, but
We
we'll
might
see.
have to start adding in.
Check the sci-fi original listings.
Yeah.
Start putting in Santa's Sleigh with Bill Goldberg on the Christmas list.
I'd be okay with that.
Okay. But I do see that there is now a bunch of movies that I am going to have to force the two of you to watch.
Oh, there's one on there I'm still not going to do.
Well, you're going to watch it and you're going to like it.
Wait, which is the one that I'm being forced to watch?
I mean, you said you had never seen L.A. Confidential.
Oh, yes, that's true. Yeah.
Which is a really good movie.
Yeah.
I recommend Long Kiss Goodnight for you.
That one sounds like it's pretty good. That one I will
you'll
check
actually
out.
like it. I'm trying to remember. Chronicles of Narnia.
Okay.
I think. I mean, I'm not going to force either one of you to watch it. If you don't want to watch it, you don't want to watch it. But I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, it's one of those where the book is obviously way better.
Okay.
It's more of a kids franchise, but they definitely were trying to build off of Lord of the Rings, and it just didn't capture the way
Yeah.
they wanted it.
Chronic What Calls of Narnia.
Yeah.
Chronic what?
I'm going to have to rewatch The Ref before I say both of you should watch it.
All right.
But, you know. And, well, speaking of Chronicles, I do recommend Christmas Chronicles.
Okay.
The first one.
Yeah.
If you want to watch it. The second one is not bad. It's just not as good as the first one.
Okay. Sweet.
Netflix original, so, you know.
I'll check that out.
So, all right. Well,
Okay.
Good tournament.
Ah.
it was a lot of work, but I'm glad I did it, and it was fun. I love the system that you put in place for us. It's going to work out well in the future for
Big
brackets and the future of this podcast. So
big things coming.
all right. Well, I don't have anything to go with Stupid Never Walks Alone, but just Merry Christmas.
All
The
right.
filthy animal.